name is Irit Friedman. I'm going to talk to you today about getting up from the floor. Unfortunately, we can sometimes stumble on something at home or lose balance for any other reason and find ourselves on the floor. What happens then? How do I get up? That's the subject of our video. I'm going to talk about certain situations, certain positions that you can find yourself on the floor and how to get up from the floor from those positions. Then I hope to get you to practice with me. So first of all, we're going to explore the positions that you could find yourself on the floor. The main ones, the harder ones normally, are the ones when you're either flat on your back or on your stomach, okay? To start with, I'm going to go down on the floor, and notice how I go down on the floor because that will also give you a hint of a good way to go down on the floor. I'm going to go down on the floor. In this case, I don't need any support, so I'm going to put my hands, I'm going to put my knees, and I'm going to start with the first position, which is lying on my back. So let's say I fell on the floor flat on my back. So let's say this is the position that I found myself on the floor after falling or losing balance for any reason, okay? First thing that I want to do is assess the situation. Am I okay? Am I hurting? Am I bleeding from anywhere? So check your arms, check your shoulders, your core, your midsection, maybe bend the knee, look at the other leg. Make sure that everything is okay. If there's no new pain that you're not familiar with, or bleeding, or any kind of discomfort, then you might be feeling that you didn't get injured. But if you did find that you got injured, you may have some pain, bleeding, then I hope you have your pendant with you and or your wristband so you can push the button either here or here, or maybe you have a cell phone, but it could be a little bit far away. But let's say I have a cell phone, I could use that too. But in your case, I do hope that you could use the help button on your pendant or your wristband, okay? Let's put this away. So assuming that you assess the situation and you do not need help, then you can assess it yourself. Can I do it? Am I okay? Do I know how to get up? And that's where I come in. So what you want to do in this situation, after you assess yourself, is try to get up. From this situation, the most common, easier way is to, first of all, bend the strong leg. In my case, it's the right leg. And you can also bend the other. So now both legs are bent. And then turn both knees to that side. Now, I've chose the right hand to be the one that's going to be on top. So I'm going to take the left hand and take it out of the way. If I leave it here, it's going to be in my way because I'm going to turn over. So now I'm going to take my right side, bring my right hand, and turn. So I have more weight now on this side. Notice what happened? This is my hand. Now, if it's really bugging me, I'm going to move it away. And now I'm going to shift the weight to the right hand and lift my upper body. Move that elbow back. And then I can put the other hand on the floor. Now, look at my knees. I'm going to try and turn them and lifting my behind off the floor, turning and bringing both knees even on the floor. Okay? So now you're on your hands and knees. And from here, you want to look around and see, where do I have a piece of furniture, something that I could trust, something that's very sturdy, like a chair, sofa, armchair, table, and then I'll look over and, oh my God, I have a really sturdy armchair right in front of me. So I'm just going to walk on my hands and knees safely until I reach that armchair, in this case. Good. Now that I got here, I'm going to put one hand and then the other hand on that sturdy part of the chair. As opposed to the handle, I'm going to put it down here because it's more safe, okay? Now, this is important to choose the strong leg. So that means if you have a knee injury or pain, then you're going to use the other leg, hoping that it's in a little better state. So in my case, my right leg is the strong one. So I'm going to put my right foot on the floor. So I picked it up, let it up, and then my foot is on the floor, my knee is right above my ankle. I'm going to shift my weight a little bit more towards the chair and try to bring the other leg up. Now I can use my foot, look at my foot. I can use my foot so that my toes are touching the floor. Or if my knee is very hurting on the other side and I have enough power to use my hands and my right leg, then I can just shift my weight this way and then lift the other leg up. Now I'm going to bring my hands onto the arms and then turn around and have a seat and assess the situation, what just happened, okay? So this is one situation where you're lying on your back and how to get up from the floor. Now, we'll assess the opposite situation where you may have found yourself on the floor on your stomach, which is what is now. I'm on my stomach. Now I need to try and get up. So again, the same thing. I'm assessing, am I injured, anything hurting? If everything okay and I feel like I can do it, then I will now try to lift myself up by putting my right hand on my strong arm. In this case, it's my right, just about shoulder height or a little lower. And then take the other hand to the same position and try to lift my upper body. And then using my legs and my knees, I'm going to lift my torso up until I can be on my hands and knees. And here from this situation on, you know exactly what to do, right? Because I just showed it to you in the previous position. So I'm going to look for the sturdy furniture, and I'm going to walk towards it until I reach it. Now, what I didn't explore earlier is that if you have a real difference between the legs and you do not want to stand up completely facing, you could do it to the side. So then again, you're going to put your hand on the sturdy part of the chair, on the seat itself. Then I'm going to take that strong leg. Notice that this time I'm using it a little bit more diagonally to lift more weight to the side and from the knee, the other knee. And that's if you have an injury on the other knee, or you want to, for many years, the reason is you want to keep less weight on that. And the same thing as we did before, using my other foot or my leg or my arms, lifting myself up, moving my hands all the way to the arms if you have them, and then sitting down. Good. Two other positions. You could find yourself on the floor, but you can also use what we just learned, how to get up. So one would be, you may have found yourself on the floor lying, sitting on the floor. So you could be sitting this way or this way, okay? So from this position, how do I get up from the floor? I will use the same kind of advice that we had before. I'm going to take my strong arm, I'm going to put it in a good position in front of my body, then take the other hand, put it parallel, and using my arms and my core and my upper body to turn my legs as well. And now I'm on my hands and knees, and just as before, I'm going to crawl over to the piece of furniture, hands on the sturdy part, leg up, shifting, leg up, turning, and this way. Good. Now, some people, for some reasons, if they are on the floor, sitting down, they prefer not to turn on their hands and knees until they really have to. In that case, what you could do is actually turn around this way. So now your hands are behind your back and more or less underneath your shoulders. And this way I can push myself backwards. Okay, I can lift myself, or at least slide backwards until I'm close by to the piece of furniture that's going to help me get up. Now I have to turn because it would be too hard for this chair to help me. If it was a short piece of furniture, then I could possibly lift myself on it and sit on it. This one is too high for me to do that, and for most people. So in this case, now I have to turn. I'm going to turn my knees first, bring my strong hand, turn, and shift on my hands and knees, And here we are at the same position as before. Notice in this case I was a little bit too far, so I had to bring my knees a little closer. Okay? Assessing the distance, assessing which leg you start is very important. Leg up, turn. Good. The last situation, the last position you could find yourself on the floor is one that is already going to have the answer in it. Is, let's say I fell on the floor and I'm this way. Or let's say I decided to want to go on the floor for an exercise that I haven't done for a long time. Being halfway in here, I've decided that, I haven't practiced it for a while, so I don't want to go all the way down. I just changed my mind. So what do I do from here? You will know the answer. We just did it many times. You're going to find that piece of furniture, crawl towards it, hands on the sturdy part on the seat. Strong leg comes first, other leg comes up, turn around, and have a seat. Good. So now it's your turn to practice. So if you've been sitting all this time in your sofa or armchair just in front of the TV, now it's your time to practice. So in order to practice, I really would like to have for you to make sure that you have something to go down onto. That is either a mat, or if you have a rug or a carpet around the house, then that would be a good place to start. Okay, so let's all stand up and shake our body a little bit. Good. And now we're going to go down on the floor. If you haven't done this for a while, then I really do suggest to use that same piece of furniture you could get up from, but also to get some help to go down onto, okay? So if you saw me earlier, I went on both knees first and then I turn around. In this case, I'm going to use the chair. So I'm going to do the same thing, just opposite instructions. So this time I'm going to hold my hands on the arms of the chair. Then I'm going to move it to the sturdy part of the seat. I'm going to move my legs back and then put one leg down and then the other knee down. And then I'm going to crawl until I can put my hands on the floor. And if I wanted to sit, to lie on my back, the best way for me is, first of all, move to a sitting position with my knees bent. Okay? Now, turn. You can either turn on your back and straighten all the way to lie on your back, or you can just slide a little bit and then put your head on your hand. Now your knees are soft and bent and you're on your side, and only from this position, turn and move on your back. So this is actually a very good way for you to practice how to move down or up without using a very jerky movement. Very often people will get up from the floor, try to do this, floor or from bed. So this, while it can be done if you have strong core, you can also injure your back. And so the easiest way is to always turn on your side, just like we did. Okay, so let's practice that. You're on your back. You've assessed yourself. You know you're okay. You can do it. Now, which is your strong hand? If it's your right or your left, you know what it is. And you're going to bend your knees, just like I've done, feet are on the floor, and you're going to take that opposite hand and move it out of the way, right? Now that you've done that, take that strong hand and bend your knees to the opposite side and take that arm and let it move you to the weight of the side, right? Then you can take that hand, shift to that side. Now you have the other hand, move it back, move the elbow back, put your hand, and if you can't, turn around using your core and your upper body. And now look at the piece of furniture and move over. You can decide to move straight in front or from the side, depending on whether or not you have an injury. Put your weight, strong leg comes out first, shift your weight, hands, turn around, have a seat, okay? And since you have that video, hopefully you'll be practicing the other positions. We're gonna just practice the second one, which is from the floor. So just go down, either the way I did before, or if you don't need any help, You're gonna move down and you're gonna put one knee first and then the other. And then we're gonna turn around and lie on our stomach. That is the second hard position to find yourself on the floor. And you're on the floor, on your stomach. Put the strong hand by your shoulder and then the other one too. In this case, it really doesn't matter which one you start with. And put weight on the upper body to lift your back and then move over to your knees. And once you're in this position, you know what to do. And move over to the sturdy furniture. Transferring hands, strong leg up, shift weight, up, stand up, turn around, and have a seat. And that's all for today. I hope you learned some new things or maybe refreshed your memory about what to do if you need to get up from the floor, and whether it is from a fall or any other reason, you now know what to do it. And I really recommend to practice this every day. This is one of those positions and activities that if you don't practice on a daily basis, you could lose that. So I do recommend to practice on this at least once a day, or at least a few times a week. I hope you enjoyed this movie and I hope you practice it in the future. Thank you and have a good day.